car shoots out over a lake and goes right into the lake and disappears from view. A young man, Danford Douglas, emerges from the water and runs for a bit, then crawls under a bush and goes to sleep. During the night he hears voices, so he remains perfectly still until morning. As he starts to walk towards the road, he sees some young people around his age swimming. His gaze is drawn to a young Native American woman, Yanis, and in his mind he sees a home with a wooden carved teepee out front. He's certain he'll see her again. He does not follow the path to the road, but bushwhacks it, and takes a roundabout way to the road, and then he begins walking home towards Melrose. Along the road he sees a home with a wooden carved teepee out in front of it. He stands and stares at it. A Native American man slowly comes walking out towards him. Walking out, not towards him exactly, but towards a tiny windmill at the end of his property. And moves it around a bit, swings it, and then he says, "Nice day." "Yes, it is. Where you going?" "I'm walking home to Melrose. I sensed you coming." "How did you do that?" "Who is your six?" "What? My what? Who has my six? Who has my back?" Suddenly a woman down the road gets out of a car and starts walking up to a house down the road, and Danford sees her, takes off running towards her. He's going 30 to 40 miles an hour easily. She spots him and runs across the street. She readies for him, but he stops short. "What do you want?" she asks him. His frustration builds. "Why are you trying to kill me?" he says, as he hears a police siren. "What?" she says, as he runs away. John Henry, who is transformed into a panther, leaps upon her without warning and paralyzes her with the single bite to the neck, dragging her into the bush, where he absorbs her essence. Her last thoughts are of her twin sister, Helena. The next day, Danford's friend drives him down the same street, but he does not see the house or the carved teepee out front. "Are you sure this is the street?" his friend asks him. "I'm sure of it." John Henry connected to the six. He was not one of us, and he definitely was not of the authority. I thought he was going to kill the agent, but I really did. But it seems impossible. But he confronted her without fear, like the dog who confronts the mountain lion that he has chased into the box canyon. And then the mountain lion will turn and with a single swipe of his claw dispatch the dog. And only then will the mountain lion look beyond the dog and realize that he is in a trap from which there is no escape. The cops showed up. They saw some disturbed sidewalk. Then they drove on. "After you left," said John Henry, "I put a protection spell over the house. Anyone looking for it could not find it." Danford used his ability to influence people to locate Yanis, and Danford and Yanis were drawn to each other. John Henry became friends with Danford and began teaching him about many things. What are we? We are... Why are we different from other people? Humanity fled Earth, our Earth, thousands of light years ago, when it became poisoned and could no longer sustain human life. So we migrated up into these gigantic machine cities in space. The solar system was filled with them. In our machine city, Heaven, our oracle saw that war was coming to the machine cities, and that we would eventually lose and be destroyed. So we journeyed to the edge of our solar system, and as a giant asteroid moon passed by, we allowed ourselves to be captured by its gravitational field, and we became a satellite of it as it sped towards a distant solar system. During our time in space, the active class evolved, but the passive class was kept from evolving by ensuring that each generation of replacement worker, or what you call children, was drawn from the original seed bank of humanity and grown in the tree of life, a plant that serves as an artificial womb where the worker emerges from the fruit of the plant, a fully formed human being. When we discovered this solar system, it had 2 livable planets, the Earth and Mars. We quickly drained Mars of all its natural resources, and then we moved on to Earth. We seeded the Earth with workers and allowed them to reproduce as they struggled to adapt to this new environment, the threats, both seen and unseen, upon the planet below. We feared that this would result in the workers evolving mental capacities equal to our own, so we installed a ruling class of environmentally protected citizens and an authority that would weed out children exhibiting enhanced mental capabilities. The politics of heaven, there are always disruptive elements that we banish to earth. In heaven, citizens can live forever, simply by using the Hela plant to absorb the life force of a worker or servant, and then digesting certain parts of the Hela plant whenever needed in order to reset the clock. But those banished to the earth must prolong their lives the old-fashioned way, by absorbing the worker's life force directly. The pleasures left to immortals are few. Such immortals, each immortal has their own pleasure palace that they stock with workers and servants, and to preserve the worker seed bank and to give the tree of life time to regenerate. The citizens now draw all of their workers and servants from this planet. We all interbreed with the workers. Those of us exiled to the earth allow their half-citizen, half-worker offspring to go forth and multiply. So in each generation of humans on earth, we see more and more of us in everything about you. Plus there is a little something new. As we were harvesting Mars, there was an insurrection aboard ship that almost destroyed heaven, and resulted in heavy damage to our systems and to the tree of life. The authorities discovered something then, a marker of some sort, that they look for now among the workers. I saw what happened to Mars. In order to end the uprising, the authority was willing to do anything, and I do not wish that to happen here. All of the exiles, we broadcast our intentions. Other citizens get flashes of futurecast. They get hunches of what we're planning, so it is nearly impossible to mount an insurrection against them. I do not believe that you broadcast your intentions. There is no futurecast when I look at you. Otherwise, you would have been identified and cut from the herd long ago. The woman you almost attacked, she was from the authority. She identifies, isolates, and transfers only the most beautiful and exquisite specimens from among the workers, to be sent up to heaven to serve the citizens as either cogs in the machine or as servants in a citizen's pleasure palace. Danford and John Henry were battling 2 agents from the authority. When after the last one was paralyzed, yet before either of them could feed, John Henry, without warning, turned on Danford. The battle was intense. Then Danford used a train to pin John Henry against the side of the platform. "Why, Danford?" John Henry asks. "Why?" "Danford, you are invisible to us. We cannot see future events involving you, and that is so intoxicating to us. You present a new realm of possibility, something we have never encountered before. The idea of tasting something so exotic such as yourself, the hope of gaining that something within you that makes you unique, will be overpowering to citizens both on earth and up in heaven. So you will have no friends among my people. You love my daughter and she loves you, but that did not stop me from needing to experience something new, one of a kind. What other pleasures are left to us, as it will not stop any other citizen. Danford, it wasn't personal. I always liked you. But you are a delicacy unique since the fall of Mars. And I just couldn't resist it. I'm sorry. I'm ready, said John Henry. As the picture zooms out, John Henry is pinned between the platform and the train. The pressure of the train against the platform is the only thing keeping him alive. I have lived for many light years, said John Henry, and as if I were a god among men, I am ready to pass on to whatever awaits me. Danford holds him, then says, I need your memories. I need to understand what happened on Mars. And he begins to absorb John Henry, gaining many flashes of memories that would expand with time as he focused on them. Then he pushed the train off of John Henry with his mind, releasing the pressure. John Henry bleeds out as John Henry's body slowly surrenders to time, turning into dust, and the dust blowing away. Danford looks around at the cameras. If the huge electrical explosion hadn't knocked the power out of the entire station, the cameras would be catching all of this. But he was fairly certain he was safe. That was a big explosion. Mars. Danford searches his mind for memories of Mars and focuses on them. Mars had a life force more ancient than the citizens in their machine city, and it used a human worker that had been infected to connect with and infect the machine city. Its mind force was reaching out from who knows where, probably the surface of the planet. But they don't know that yet, but it wasn't the surface of the planet, and causing the machine city systems to go haywire. So in order to cut the link between the machine city and the entity on the planet, we vaporized the atmosphere of Mars, killing all life upon the planet in an instant, and losing many good harvests yet to come. And the link was cut. We had our city back, so we found a point of mid-space where all gravitational forces cancel each other out, and we sat there for light years, attempting to heal the machine city. With the tree of life damaged, we allowed the workers who could still breed naturally to breed. We viewed our half-worker, half-citizen children as too much of a potential threat. So we banned them from interbreeding until we relocated to a new Earth where their offspring could be offloaded onto the planet to serve us as agents and ruling class. Oh, that's it. That was short.